Well, we'll go ahead and jump right into it. I always start with this, what I call the original. It's just because it's most well known, I guess. And we're doing 13 and 14 tonight. So 13, accept disgrace willingly, accept misfortune as the human condition. What do you mean by accept disgrace willingly? Accept being unimportant. Do not be concerned with loss or gain. This is called accepting disgrace willingly. What do you mean by accept misfortune as the human condition? Misfortune comes from having a body. Without a body, how could there be misfortune? Surrender yourself humbly, then you can be trusted to care for all things. Love the world as your own self, then you can truly care for all things.
Wow, mine is so much different than that. When we get to it, it'll be
well, like I said, I have 4 versions now, so I'm sure they're all going to be different. This version is from these little cards called the Tao box. That's kind of what they look like. So this one is called Preventing a Fall. And I hope it's the right one because this is a lot different too. So we're going to go with it. Honor and shame are the same as fear. Fortune and disaster are the same for all. What is said of honor and shame is this: whether absent or present, they are inseparate from the fear they give rise to. What is said of fortune and disaster is this: they can befall any person. By the accident of good fortune, one may rule the world for a time, but by virtue of love, one lives forever. So, yeah, totally different.
Yeah.
This is from The Essential Tao by Thomas Cleary. I've lost my place. Oh, no, I did. And this one is called Favor and Disgrace. Favor and disgrace seem alarming. High status greatly afflicts your person. What are favor and disgrace? Favor is the lower. Get it, and you're surprised. Lose it, and you're startled. This means favor and disgrace are alarming. Why does high status greatly afflict your person? The reason we have a lot of trouble is that we have selves. If we had no selves, what troubles would we have? Therefore, those who embody nobility, Therefore, those who embody nobility to act for the sake of the world seem to be able to draw the world to them, while those who embody love to act for the sake of the world seem to be worthy of the trust of the world. Well, it's kind of hard to read. And finally, my Ursula Le Guin translation, or rendition, I guess. Shameless. To be in favor or disgrace is to live in fear. To take the body seriously is to admit one can suffer. What does that mean, to be in favor or disgrace? Is to live in fear. Favor debases. We fear to lose it, fear to win it. So to be in favor or disgrace is to live in fear. What does that mean? To take the body seriously is to admit one can suffer. I suffer because I'm a body. If I weren't a body, how could I suffer? So people who set their bodily good before the public good could be entrusted with the commonwealth, and those who treated the body politic, as gently as their own body, would be worthy to govern the commonwealth. Okay, go ahead. Let's go with what is it?
Okay, so this is Stephen Mitchell.
Mitchell, that's it.
Yeah, Stephen Mitchell here. And he does a really good job speaking this on YouTube. Excellent. Okay, so here's his version. Success is as dangerous as failure. Hope is as hollow as fear. What does it mean that success is as dangerous as failure? Whether you go up the ladder or down it, your position is shaky. When you stand with your 2 feet on the ground, you will always keep your balance. What does it mean that hope is as hollow as fear? Hope and fear are both phantoms that arise from thinking of the self. When you don't see the self as self, what do you have to fear? See the world as yourself. Have faith in the way things are. Love the world as yourself. Then you can care for all things. Really different.
Yeah. Do you have a translation to share, Samiri?
No, I don't have a translation.
Okay.
I'm here to learn.
Oh, no, that's good. Say your name for me again. I think I'm saying it wrong still.
Samri.
Samri. Okay. I can't want to say Samiri. It's because my son, his teacher is Miss Samira. And so I keep,
Okay.
for some reason, I keep wanting to go there.
It's kind of similar.
Yeah, it makes me want to say Samiri for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't really believe in coincidences. Last night I was reading some passages in A Course in Miracles, and they mentioned, if you don't mind, I can go grab it real quick because it's exactly what they're saying here as far as what they're talking about the body. So it's really interesting. Oh. They were talking more about like how just we are the dreamer, the dream within a dream, and the body is kind of the cause of all our suffering. It's very Buddhist, but it's more like taking responsibility for yourself. And of course, I'm not going to be able to find the passage I want. So I guess I'm just going to have to kind of paraphrase, but it was talking exactly about that, we are not a body. So, well, I wrote down here just the illusion of the body. That's kind of what it comes down to. And the only passage I can really find, and I apologize, is the body is the central figure in the dreaming world. There is no dream without it, nor does it exist without the dream, in which it acts as if it were a person to be seen and believed. It takes the central place in every dream, which tells the story of how it was made by other bodies, born into the world outside the body, lives a while and dies, to be united in the dust with other bodies dying like itself. In the brief time allowed it to live, it seeks for other bodies as its friends and enemies. Its safety is its main concern. Its comfort is its guiding rule. It tries to look for pleasure and avoid the things that would be hurtful. Above all, it tries to teach itself its pains and joys are different and can be told apart. So there's a lot there. I mean, there's about the body, and then there's also about, I think they're kind of touching on ego, at least in this one, when they talk about accept being unimportant. And I know I've talked about Carlos Castaneda before, and the losing of self-importance, which is basically the losing of the ego. And like we were saying earlier, Brent, just, like letting go. And it has to do with the body too. So as I was falling asleep last night, kind of had this mantra I was doing. It's like, I am not my body. And I carried that over into my morning meditation, where I really just tried to feel my aura, my energy body, while still being grateful for my body, because you can get into the sense where if you're not your body, you're not necessarily separate from it either. And I think there's too much body shaming out there, and there's too much maybe it comes to death, like who cares about this body? I'm not this body. It's going to die. This too shall pass. But if we're really living in that moment, you really can kind of come to a place of wonder, and just gratitude of just how wondrous these vehicles that we're given to experience this life, how just they're a miracle, really. So I don't like that separation of body and spirit necessarily. I think it should be embraced that we have a body, but don't limit yourself to the body, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, we kind of have a body, don't we? And we need it to get around, and we need it to be in the four-dimensional space-time world, So, but there's a lot of preoccupation with it in the culture, and it's part of the economic system and the money and all that kind of stuff. So it can be a really big thing, especially when you're so attached to it that everything has to be perfect. And you see some of these people that are on diets because they want to be skinny, and they're past being skinny. I mean, they're just ridiculously, skinny, and they don't see that. They're still wanting to get thinner and thinner, so that it screws up your perception of reality when you get too attached to the body, or too attached to anything, actually. So it's important to see in your own life anything that you're too attached to. If it gives you too much pleasure, watch out. If it doesn't give you enough, then that's going to be a problem too. So it's good to know you got a body and take care of it, but being overly consumed by it is probably not a good idea. I mean, I pay more attention to the way I look now when I'm on Zoom than I ever paid attention when I never was on Zoom and I was just going out into the public. I didn't pay that much attention, but now my hair's got to be just right, and all this stuff, because that's really all we've got. We can't touch each other or hug each other or anything else. So this is the image, like you look at your picture on the screen right now, and there's an image there that's attached to you, but you have no idea how anybody else sees it. Like beautiful actresses will think they're ugly. They'll think they're ugly and they're beautiful. They have no concept of how everybody else has seen them. So
isn't that the kind of the crux of it, though? Just that limitation. And like I said, I try not to be too down on the body, but it is so limiting, because we really do. Everyone just judges instantly by the way somebody looks. I mean, it's like that. And that kind of, it's prejudice towards everything and everyone. That's what prejudice is. It's prejudging. It's like when you see somebody, they don't even have to talk, and all of a sudden you've already got this mental image of who they are.
Yep.
I back in the day when I was on Facebook, I remember posting something of just like a skeleton and just like, we're all the same. underneath. We're all made of the same exact things. If we just didn't have this skin and hair on us, we're all exactly the same. And it's just like, I just wish people could see each other like that. And it mainly came down to just being able to see energy. Like, I just wish we could all just see pure energy, because then we wouldn't all look the same. There'd be some subtle differences in vibration, or maybe color, or a little bit of form there. But I just, it'd be beautiful if we could come to that kind of point in our world to just realize that we're all exactly the same. We're made of the same stuff,
Yeah.
That's true, because what gets us to want to come together in places like this, where we talk about this stuff, is the fact that we know that underneath the superficial stuff, there's this real energy, and it's the presence of just being here, right? Like right now, you can feel it in just being present. And you're aware of whatever's going on inside. And every once in a while I'll be at a meeting, and I'll be looking at these pictures on the screen, and mine's one of them, and then we're there, and but underneath all that, wherever it is outside the four-dimensional space-time world dimension, there's a place where we're there together as one, and it's always there. It's just a question of how interested in it are you, and where is your attention. Samri, I know you've got some thoughts about all this. I'd like to hear you speak, because you're very deeply spiritual. I can tell just by what little you've said so far. So I'd really love hearing what you're thinking.
I was actually thinking about like the body. I think it's like what we were taught as kids, or like growing up, what where we see from the environment, or like what we learn from our society, that like figures and bodies are like more noticed than like the spiritual, like what's inside. And like and it continues as adults, and you teach your kids the same thing, and then it continues. And I think what makes us all connected is how we want to think more than the body. Like as Elise was saying earlier, like it's very limiting if you just keep thinking about like the body, but thinking that there's something more to us than just our body. That's something very, very like deep to think about.
Yeah.
The trick is to try to catch yourself in those moments of emotion when you're dealing with another body.
Yeah.
To try to come to that place of oneness and sameness, especially if it's emotionally charged. I know, because that's really when the prejudging and the stories all start going. So yeah, if you could just stop and take a moment to just say, we're exactly the same, and they're feeling something out of this too. I'm feeling something, but to just take that moment to just appreciate that you're connected with that other body, and that you're exactly alike in a sense,
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I related to what you were saying, Samri, because I think about that a lot too. Like, it's all about the kids. The kids absorb everything that they get told by their parents, and the society culture, and even the state is involved in trying to get us to look at ourselves a specific way. And so that's what we have. And if your intuition is damaged when you're a child, like if you get told, don't you dare question this or that, and you get scared, and with religion, you get told, like, if you question the religion, like you might go to hell. So it took me decades to get out of that because it made me feel really guilty when I would think about that or question it. But fortunately, after a while, it got to the point where I could see it pretty clearly, and it's a very incredible indoctrination program and conditioning and actual brainwashing, actually, to get kids. I mean, kids are perfect. We should be looking at kids instead of getting them to look at us for truth, because the kids are just, right in it. I mean, they're not perfect. They fight in the sandbox over toys, but they still, there's a sweet innocence about children, and they get
Right.
wrecked. They get born on this planet and they get wrecked, and they turn into adults, and it's like ridiculous. And you look at the way the world operates, and the simplicity of the stupidity of it all. It's really whacked out. So I'm hoping that I'm going to be spending the rest of my life talking about this, and hoping other people can hear it, so that we can, help get past, all this stuff. And these Zoom meetings are really unique. We never would have run into each other. Like, you're in Texas right now from California. I'm in
Yeah.
Berkeley. Where are you again, Alice?
Austin, Texas.
Oh, so you guys are both in the same state. Well, that's interesting.
But
But yeah,
you say the uncarved block, that's what they refer to. To be like a child again. The Tao Te Ching always talks about that. So
yeah.
I actually used to live in Oakland before I moved to I was living in Oakland and then moved to Sacramento. So so we were probably close by.
How long ago since you've been in Oakland?
That was like almost 5 years now. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because I've been in Berkeley here for quite a while. So that's interesting. Our
Yeah.
paths crossed, but now here we are in this Zoom meeting.
Yeah.
Who would ever have thought about
Who would have
that?
thought? Yeah.
And in my experience, everyone's the same. It doesn't matter. I talk to people all over the world sometimes, and we're all the same. It doesn't make any difference. The body it doesn't make any difference at all. We're all just really one. And I want to let's see. I want to put the link to that meeting that I was talking about that Muji was in, because I think you guys would really like that section of it. So what I'll do is I'll put the link in the meeting comments. Like, you'll get a notification, and then go there and listen to that, because I think I think you'll be really touched by that. And it I don't know, I felt like new space was carved out inside me that I hadn't quite gotten into this way before, because he was like a hypnotist in a way. He was just like throwing stuff out on the table, and he was just saying, don't do this and do that, and don't pick that up. And it was really incredible to feel that, because I don't really believe that much in control. I don't believe I'm picking and choosing things consciously. They're just happening. But the way he did it, it's like people walk into a meeting and they have certain expectations. And if you go see someone like him, you expect something, right? And so you also acquiesce your whatever control you have for that hour or two that you're with them, because you're there to learn, you're there to have an experience. And so they're going to guide you into an experience that you don't think you can get into on your own. So you're naturally going to let go and stuff like that. So he just has to say a couple of words, and everybody's, like letting go and doing all this stuff. And so, like, all this stuff, all these feelings we have, and all this desire for more oneness and everything, it's in us all the time. And it calls out to say, hey, you're more than you think you are. You're more than an individual, and you can feel the connection with everybody down deep inside. And this is where you need to go. And it's like the higher self of us is talking to the lower self or something, and we're in this four-dimensional space-time life with this body and everything, and we forget like where we're really coming from sometimes.
Well, I hate to rush us along.
Okay.
I wish we had more time. I wanted to explore that idea of that Mitchell said with hope is fear, but maybe I'm sure a lot of these same themes come up through each of these passages. So I'm sure
Yeah.
we'll begin. So 14, look, it cannot be seen. It is beyond form. Listen, it cannot be heard. It is beyond sound. Grasp, it cannot be held. It is intangible. These three are indefinable. Therefore, they are joined in one. From above, it is not bright. From below is not dark. An unbroken thread beyond description. It returns to nothingness, the form of the formless, the image of the imageless. It is called indefinable and beyond imagination. I'm saying indefinable, it's indefinable. I'm sorry. Stand before it, there is no beginning. Follow it, there is no end. Stay with the ancient Tao, move with the present. Knowing the ancient beginning is the essence of the Tao. I like that one. And I must have dropped my other card. Nope, there it is. Okay, from the card. Praising the unfathomable. The Tao is not to be seen. The Tao is not to be heard. The Tao is not to be touched. It is not bright above nor dark beneath. Infinite in operation, it is without name. Issuing forth, it enters into itself. Its appearance is not apparent. Its form is non-existent. This is the unfathomable mystery of Tao. It has no beginning, it has no end. It cannot be found. To regulate one's life by understanding Tao is to have found the path. Okay, moving on to clearing, right? When you don't look at it, you don't see it. What you don't see when you look is called the unobtrusive. What you don't hear when you listen is called the rarefied. What you don't get when you grasp is called the subtle. These three cannot be completely fathomed, so they merge into one. Above is not bright, below is not dark. Continuous, unnameable, it returns again to nothing. This is called the stateless state, the image of no thing. This is called mental abstraction. When you face it, you do not see its head. When you follow it, you do not see its back. Hold the ancient way so as to direct present existence. Only when you can know the ancient can this be called the basic cycle of the way. And finally, Nigun, celebrating mystery. Look at it, nothing to see. Call it colorless. Listen to it, nothing to hear. Call it soundless. Reach for it, nothing to hold. Call it intangible. Triply undifferentiated, it merges into oneness. Not bright above, not dark below. Never, oh never can it be named. It reverts, it returns to unbeing. Call it the form of the unformed, the image of no image. Call it unthinkable thought. Face it, no face. Follow it, no end. Holding fast to the old way, we can live in the present. Mindful of the ancient beginnings, we hold the thread of the Tao.
That was your last one?
Mhm.
Okay. Look, and it can't be seen. Listen, and it can't be heard. Reach, and it can't be grasped. Above, it isn't bright. Below, it isn't dark. Seamless, unnameable, it returns to the realm of nothing. Form that includes all forms, image without an image, subtle beyond all conception. Approach it, and there is no beginning. Follow it, and there is no end. You can't know it, but you can be it, at ease in your own life. Just realize where you come from. This is the essence of wisdom.
You know what really struck me with all of that is several of my translations mentioned presence. And when you're truly present, that's kind of what it's like. It's there's no name, there's no face, there's no sound, but it's all encompassing. It's huge, and yet it's nothing. It's everything, and again, nothing. So it's kind of that paradox of it's a single moment, and now it's gone, and there it is, and it's gone, but yet it lasts forever. It's eternal.
Yeah, like every moment is a new moment, but they're all the same in a sense also. And you can't grasp anything and hold on to it, and you can't pull it from the future forward either, backward to yourself. So yeah, the only thing that's really real is right here and now. This is it. Where's your attention? What are you thinking about?
Yeah, I like the let's say nothingness. And it took me back to when you said about letting go, and even like feeling like not nothing, but like just letting go of what we are attached to, and just and then earlier you say like accept being unimportant, because there are feelings that we feel entitled to, or like it just letting go of the ego. Yeah, it's a very, yeah.
It's not an easy thing to do, but once
Yeah.
you're there and you have let go of your ego, and you come to that state of non-being in a way, yeah, that's when you get that eternal moment, or communion, or silence. It can be called so many different things, or enlightenment. They call it enlightenment.
Conscious,
Mhm.
being conscious.
Yeah. I think it's funny, people are always, chasing after enlightenment, and they take class, they read books, and yes, that stuff can help you, but the thing is enlightenment is always just right here. You just have to grab it, even though it's ungraspable, right?
Yeah, you can't know it. You can't know it through your mind. It's just it's just this moment, this presence, whatever is happening right now. And you kind of have to watch it do its thing, and then mosey on out, and then something else moseys on in at the same time. We're told we're these controllers, we're told we can make our life be anything, but we're guided by all these feelings we have. Desires is the big one. That's what brought me here tonight. Was I had a desire to come here that was stronger than the desire to do anything else, and I didn't create that desire. So it brought me here.
I like how you say you're guided by your emotions. Most people would say they're controlled by their emotions. So it says a lot about you, Brent.
I would say that, yeah. A lot of people would say I'm above my emotions. I can control my emotions.
A state of being. I think that kind of wraps up your thoughts.
The fate of being.
No, state.
State.
Yeah.
The state of being. Oh, I thought you said the fate of being. I like that better almost.
Yeah, because we're here, we're all fated, right? We're fated to be here, so might as well make the most of it.
We can even faint from it.
Well, if we have a couple minutes, I kind of want to go back to that statement of Mitchell's about hope is fear. It's kind of teasing my brain a little bit.
Was that in the first one or the second one? Okay, let me see if I can find that.
Yeah, when they're talking about, well, one of them was talking about disgrace. Yeah, to be in favor or disgrace. I don't know if either of you, Brent, I thought you said you'd watched some of my previous YouTube videos for the church, but I talk about how there's only really one true emotion, and that being love, because it's not really an emotion at all. It's more of an energy. And that even some emotions that might seem positive or life affirming are really still based in fear. And that's kind of what got me thinking about that hope is fear thing. But for me, I always thought hope was a positive emotion and more life affirming. But if you really dig down, hope means that you actually have the opposite, that you do have fear, or that you're worried about something. Otherwise, you wouldn't have hope, right? You have to have light for dark. So
I hope things are different tomorrow or something. I mean, hope is about tomorrow. It's not about now.
Exactly.
If you're in the moment, you don't need hope at all.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's not about being present. It's about thinking to the future and not enjoying now, not being in joy and in the present.
Enjoy. That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that wraps it up, unless you guys have anything else you want to share with us before we say goodbye.
You talked about you have a YouTube.
Oh yeah, on it's just small. I post our stuff here, the Tao Te Ching,
Okay.
and I've posted some other stuff in the past, a couple of videos.
Okay. Mhm.
So that's just it's just thesoulchurch.com, exactly like the meetup.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Sorry for what?
Did I say sorry? I didn't realize
No,
it.
Samri said sorry.
Oh,
Why'd you say sorry?
Yeah. Oh. No, because I thought I was interrupting her, like she was talking.
oh.
So you were sorry
Yeah.
you interrupted, you mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that necessary?
I'm just trying to be polite.
Yeah, she's just people like. Okay, well, thank you, both of you, so much for your time, for your words, for sharing your energy, and just presence with us. So
I couldn't help it.
Yeah. Thank you so much, both of you. Very welcoming, and as you said, for sharing your energy with me.
Great. Hope to see you guys next time.
All right.
Yeah.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
All right. You have a good night.
Stay present. You too.
Yes. All right.